Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I'm Inxlaura123 and this is going to be a bookish themed video. So hello to all my fellow bookworm buddies out there. So in this video I'm going to be running through a list. I'm going to be running through the list of the books that I have read so far this year. Yes, the books I've read so far in 2022. There's been a lot of books, I tell you. Some have been amazing, some have been okay, and some awful. There's probably been a few that I've like DNF'd as well. So I have my phone here with my Goodreads app on. I'm just going to be scrolling along and telling you the names of the books and also what rating I give them on Goodreads. And if I do kind of remember anything special about the books, I'll tell you about it. But as I say, I've read a lot of books, so obviously not everything is going to be in my memory. But, you know, certain books are more kind of stand out, amazing. So yes, or stand out not amazing, you know. Let me know in the comments section down below what books you have read so far this year, how many, if there's been any like books that you've really enjoyed, like what is your favorite book so far of the year, or if there have been any books that you've really hated. Has there been any releases that you were super excited about and then when they come out and you read them you didn't like them? Tell me anything. I love reading your comments. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop my glasses on and we can get started. By the way, don't forget to please click like, comment, share, subscribe. Okay, so the first book I read this year in January was Slay by Brittany Morris. This was absolutely fantastic and it really started off my reading year with a bang. It was so good, so good. So it's a YA, it's a thriller, it involved gaming, like it was just absolutely fantastic. I've never read anything like it. It was so kind of unique and different and just, yeah, amazing. Really good start to the year. 5 stars for Slay. The next book I read, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed, was a child's book. I know, I'm clearly not a child, but it was called The Paper Dolls and it was super cute and I gave it a 4 star. Next book I read was the very hyped up The Love Hypothesis. I can finally say that word. It took me a while. But with a lot of practice, I can now say The Love Hypothesis. There we go. I was a bit worried because it was so hyped and I was like, you know, sometimes when books are overhyped, I'm not keen on them. But I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I give it a 5 stars. I can't wait for her next book, which comes out soon, I think. I hope. Because, yeah, it was really good. Loved it. Next book I read was also hyped up. Lots of people liked it. I didn't. So it was These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I mean, I give it a 3 stars, but I think that was being generous. I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, it was a YA fantasy. It's supposed to be like a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, and I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. I DNF'd it and I didn't carry on with the series. Next book I read, I could not stand. It was so bad. Empress and Anya by Candice Carty-Williams. Just, I don't know. This was supposed to be a YA, and I just felt it was more kind of middle grade. But I didn't like the characters. I thought the story was terrible. I thought the writing was awful. It's just terrible. So I give it a 1 star. Next book I read, I did a buddy read with, actually. So we both read a book called 13 by Steve Kavanagh. By the way, if anyone's ever up for buddy reads, please let me know in the comments section. That's something I'd really love to do, more buddy reading. So if you want to be my buddy and we read the same book together and then like at the end we can discuss it or something, that'd be so cool. But yeah, that was a thriller. It was good. It is part of a series, but you can read them as standalones, but I give it a 3 star. I don't know, would I read any more in the series? Probably, but it was okay. Twyford Code, Janice Hallett, I wanted to like, but I didn't, so I give that a 3 star. The Last Wish by, I'm so sorry, I am terrible at pronunciations, I'll warn you in advance. Oh no, and Andreas Sapowski. Yeah, it was okay. It was all right. The Body in the Library, Agatha Christie, I wanted to like so much, but I just didn't, and I only gave it a 2 stars. However, I did like The Maid by Anita Pros, or Pros, I don't know how you say her name. That was so good. I really enjoyed The Maid. I loved the characters. I loved the story. It was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, 5 stars for that one. Mermaid, the Witch and the Sea by Maggie Tucuda Hall. I didn't enjoy it. It was a cover by. I liked it because it had a really pretty cover, and I like the idea of mermaids and witches, but I just, no, I got completely lost. I didn't know what was going on, so I DNF'd that one. A Thicket by Noel W. Ilhilai or something. Sorry, I did say bad at pronunciations. I give it a 3-star. That was a YA horror. I don't remember everything about it, but I know it was a bit creepy and a bit spooky, a bit predictable as well, but I know I liked it, so I give it a 3-star. So really quickly, how do I do my ratings? So 1 star is obviously don't like it, probably DNF'd it. If I'm not enjoying a book, I'll move on to the next. That's how I roll. 2 stars, I didn't particularly like it, but it wasn't as bad as DNF. Like I did kind of finish it or skim through to the end. 3 stars, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't out of this world amazing for me, but it was good. 4 stars, I really, really liked it. It was really good, but there was just something missing. And then obviously 5 stars is it's got it all. It's got it all. It's just, I loved it. I loved the characters. I loved the story. I felt connected to it. So that's how I do my ratings. So yeah, The Thicket I give 3 stars to. The next was a little graphic novel called The Sad Ghost Club by Eliza Meddins. I really wanted to like this one. This had been on my list to read for so long. And I love like what it's about. It's about anxiety and helping people with anxiety. I myself suffer from anxiety. So like for me, it was a big thing. And I love graphic novels, but I just couldn't get into this graphic novel. I didn't really understand what was going on. So I'm afraid I only give it a 2-star and I didn't carry on with a series of it. The Christie Affair by Nina de Gramont. I remember at the beginning I really liked it, and then I kind of found myself getting bored and not particularly like caring about the characters and stuff. And it also felt a bit awkward hearing about Agatha Christie's like love life and stuff, like sex life. It was all a bit, I don't know, I felt a bit cringe. So I didn't really like that. 2 stars. Pandora by Susan Stokes Chapman, another one that I didn't particularly enjoy. I give it a 2 stars because I probably would have skimmed to the end. As I said, if it's a 1 star, I just don't even bother. Like I'm like, no, see you later. But if it's one that I don't like, but I still want to, out of curiosity, know what happened, then I'll just quickly skim to the end and see what happened. But yeah, 2 stars for that. When the World Was Ours was amazing. I remember this one so well. This was beautiful. It's by Liz Kessler and it's based on a true story, and it was just really emotional. It's about a group of friends and the war and how they were separated through war, and it just so touching, really well wrote. I love Liz Kessler books anyway, she's really good. So yeah, When the World Was Ours, I give a 5 stars to. Signal to Noise was my next book by Sylvia Marino Garcia. Yeah, not keen on this one, give it a 2-star. I was hoping this was going to be good. It mixed music, magic. I thought, wow, this is going to be so cool. But I just felt like it didn't really explain how it all worked, like how this magic worked, and I don't know, I didn't really like the characters either, so yeah. Next up I read Alex Lake's Copycat, which was a thriller. It was okay. With me with thrillers, they've got to be like really gripping, I really want to kind of sit up and think, oh, what happens next kind of vibe, not I'll read it in a bit. And also I don't like thrillers that are so predictable. I like to be kind of shocked and have lots of twists and turns with my thrillers, but 3-star was a kind of average score, so it was okay. If This Gets Out, I loved, by Sophie Gonzalez. Oh my god, that was so good. That was about a boy, it's a YA contemporary fiction, LGBTQI plus themed, and yeah, it was about a boy band, and 2 of the members in the boy band were gay, and they were actually a couple, and it was just so good. I would have to say that would probably be in my top 10 of the year, because I love the characters, I love the book, and the fact that it's about a boy band, because I've always loved my boy band since I was like, a teenager. So yeah, all good. 5 stars for that one. Then There Was None by Agatha Christie. I gave 4 stars. At the beginning of the year, I had this thing. I really wanted to read Agatha Christie a lot more this year. Like I wanted to try different books from her throughout the year. Some I've liked, some I've not so much. But this one was okay. I give it a 4-star. It was quite dark. I like that kind of, it was all set on this remote island and all the different characters. And yeah, it was good. It was good. I'll give it a 4-star. Beasts and Beauty by Simone Charney. That was a collection of short stories, of retellings, reimaginings of like fairy tales, but they were very dark and they were very depressing. I knew they were going to be retellings, so obviously they're not the same as the original fairy tale, I get that, but boy oh boy were they depressing. Like there's no happiness in these stories, what I read. They were just so dark and just sad. And I don't know, something about a fairy tale for me, I think, should make you kind of happy. And it was just like, oh, it's depressing me. So yeah, I only give that 1 star. But it did have some beautiful illustrations, so I'll give it that. Win, Lose, Kill or Die. Sorry, Win, Lose, Kill, Die by Cynthia Murphy, I give 4 stars to. I can't remember loads about that. I know it's a YA thriller. Just going to click on that because it's going to bug me otherwise. Oh, yeah, they were students at an academy, high achievers. Oh, yeah, and the series murders target the school's brightest and best. Okay. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I'll give it 4 stars, but I think, thinking back, I think it was more like a 3.5. It's really annoying that Goodreads don't give half points. I find that really frustrating. I know there's a lot of other people who use the Goodreads app who say the same, because sometimes I think, oh, that's a 3.5, that's a 2.5, but then you have to round it up, and I think, well, it's better than this and not as good as that. So anyway, I'm rambling, sorry. Next book I read, oh my God, I love this book. It was Meet Cute by Helena Hunting. Something I've learned this year with my reading, I'm quite into my romance again. For many years, I didn't really read many romance books. I was more into kind of thrillers. Don't get me wrong, I'm still reading a lot of thrillers and stuff and YAs, but I've really enjoyed my romance books this year, even though I still think that a lot of romance books are really predictable and you know what's probably going to happen. I don't know. I've really enjoyed them. This one was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. Helena Hunting, Meet Cute. It's really good. If you like your romance, check it out. Next book I read was Dead Lucky by Adriana Kadani. I can't remember much about that. I think that was a YA thriller. I only give it 2 stars. Couldn't have been that memorable. Oh, the next book I liked, Danny Weston's The Witching Stone. That one I give 4 stars to. Read that in February. So yeah, sorry, we're on to February now, by the way. Anyway, yeah, this one I hadn't heard of, but I was in the library one day, as you are as a bookworm, and I just saw this book on the shelves, and I loved the cover on it. It had like creepy, witchy hands, and I don't know, I liked it. So yeah, that was good. 4 stars for that. This was cute. I read Frankie's World, a graphic novel by Iofi Dooley. This was such a cute story. I loved it. I love the artwork in it and the colouring in it, and just, I don't know, it was really, really amazing. I love that. 5 stars. Now, I was really disappointed and sad by the next one, Everything That Burns by Gita Trelease. I loved Enchantée so much. I've got it downstairs. I kept it because it was such a beautiful book, and I couldn't wait to read. I couldn't wait to read. I couldn't wait. I can't talk now. I couldn't wait to read. There we go. I put my teeth in. The sequel, because I love the first book like so freaking much. But I could not stand Everything That Burns. It lacked magic. I kind of forgot about the characters. Like, I wasn't really into it as much. But the main thing that I didn't enjoy it for, it just lacked magic. It didn't have that something that the first book did. So yeah, I only give that 2 stars. I think I was being generous there, actually. Now, I loved Sarah J Maas' House of Sky and Breath, even though it took me... Geez, how long did that take me? I think it was about a week. Now, I am quite a fast reader. People always say to me, like, how have you got through that many books, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I just read at my own pace. I read as much as I can. It's like my main hobby to do. So, obviously, I get a lot of reading time in when I can. And I'm just a fast reader. I don't know. Some people are slow readers. Some people, read fast. I don't know. But I do get through a lot of books. But this one, it was so big, it's like a brick. Like, it was massive, and it just took me so long to get through. But when I got to the end, I was like, I really enjoyed that book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just a bit too big. But yeah, definitely 5 stars for House of Sky and Breath. Can't wait to, carry on the series, obviously. Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joy Goffney. I give a 2 stars too. Oh, that book. I really started liking it at first. I was so into it. I was really enjoying it. And then I just found it really irritating and annoying and very, very predictable. So yeah, I only gave that 2 stars. The Things We Don't See by Savannah Brown I didn't enjoy at all. I remember DNF in that. That was a YA. I don't even remember much about it, to be fair. The Furies, or as I kept calling it, the Furries. I remember coming home, showing Nathan, he's my fiance if you're new here, showing him my book. I was like, oh, look what I found in the charity shop. The Furries. And he was like, no, that's the Furies. And I felt such an idiot. Anyway, but it was okay. I give it a 2.5. Well, I give it a 3 stars, but I would have given it a 2.5. Anyway, but it was okay. It was about a bunch of girls, I think, witchy kind of vibes going on. It was all right. Next book I read was The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Olivia? Yeah. Really hyped up book, hyped up series. I know pretty much everyone I've watched, on YouTube talking about it loves this series, loves the book. But I just didn't enjoy it at all. I liked the artwork in it. I liked the first few chapters. And then I was just like, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. It wasn't wasn't doing anything for me, so I just DNF'd it. I give it a 2 stars because, as I say, I like the first few chapters a lot, and then it just went downhill for me. And also there was some amazing artwork in this book, so it got a little extra point for the artwork. The next book I read, I really enjoyed, by Lucy Foley, who is an amazing thriller author. I've read all her books, can't wait for the next one. Whatever it is, I know I'm going to buy it. This was The Paris Apartment. Yeah, really, really good. It's about us trying to remember. It's about this girl. Her brother had gone missing, and she'd gone over to France to kind of stay with him. And then she gets there, and he's not there. And then she finds, tries to find out what happens. There's also this really weird family that live in this same apartment, and yeah, it's really good. I did enjoy that. I give that 4 stars. The only reason I didn't give it a 5 was because I don't know if this is wrong or right, but for me, I did compare it to other Lucy Foley books, like The Hunting Party and stuff, which I loved and give 5 stars to. But this one I was like, 4 star. But it's still good. It's still a good result, I would say. The next book was Not Here to Be Liked by Michelle Quash. This was a cover by it. I remember being in Waterstones, just looking at it and thinking, oh, it's a pretty cover. Had all sprayed edges, and I was like, meh. It was just really boring. I didn't like the main character at all. I can't even remember what it was about. I think the main character, she was on the school newspaper or something, and she wanted to be editor, and this other guy wanted to be editor, and they just had this like battle. But she was really like negative and quite nasty character, and I had no like emotion for it. I didn't even want her to get the job, so I DNF that one. 1 star. Sorry. Sorry, I keep forgetting to say what month I'm in. We're in March now. Real Easy. Oh my god, this book. Yes. See, this is why I love doing things like this, because I remember books that I was like, oh, I forgot I read that one. Yeah, Real Easy by Marie Ratosky. Is that how you say it? Ratosky? Wow. This was an amazing, amazing thriller. I'd want to read it. I wanted to read it for some time. And I remember getting it in Waterstones on like a special offer thing. Oh, my phone's ringing. I'll decline that. I'll ring my dad back in a minute. I'm filming, Daddy. It's nothing wrong on an emergency, because I just spoke to him 5 minutes ago and he's fine. But yeah, so basically, he's put me off my track now. Where was I? Oh yeah, I got this on a special offer in Waterstones, and I love this book so much. It was really, really amazing. It's a thriller. It's about a group of women who were dancers, if you know what I'm saying, who get their clothes off, and a girl had been found murdered, and there was just so much about it. I can't say too much, so I don't want to give any spoilers, but it was really good if you like your thrillers. And not just that, it's like the women in it were so interesting. Like different chapters were based on different like characters, and each character was really interesting, and I just, yeah, I love that book. Real Easy, another one that will probably be in my top 10 of the year, because I love that. Sadly, next up was Galleon. I'm going to turn my phone on aeroplane mode, which I should have done before I filmed. Yeah, V.E. Schwab is one of my favourite authors. I love her so much. I've been watching First Kill as well, by the way, on Netflix. That is brilliant. But this one really disappointed me. I was so excited for Galleon, and I give it a 2 star, which really upset me, because I never thought I would ever give Victoria Schwab, a 2 star on Goodreads. But I just didn't enjoy it at all. I thought it was terrible. I'm sorry. I can't remember much about it. I know it's some young girl, and she goes to this really creepy house, and I don't know, moving on to Run, Rose, Run by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. So this book, there was a good part of it and there was a bad part of it. I like finding out about the character and the whole kind of music scene. I love reading books with like music and stuff in them, and like the character was quite sassy, and pretty much to me it felt like I was reading about Dolly, who I love Dolly. She's great. Not that I've ever met her, but you know what I mean. Everyone loves Dolly Parton, don't they? I don't know. But basically this book was sold on the premise that it was supposed to be a thriller, which, all right, there was a thriller element of it, but it just wasn't much. Like, it just felt like more about the music industry, the country music industry, and I was like, a little bit of thriller. So that kind of like, So I only give it a 3 stars. It was okay. Next book I did really enjoy, The Book of Cold Cases by the lovely Simone St. James. Wow, this was a good book. I really, really super enjoyed this. I give it a 4 star. And once again, like the Lucy Foley book, the only reason I didn't give it a 5 star is because I'm comparing it to her other book, which I've literally gone, Sundown Motel. Which I really, really loved, and that did get a 5 star. Maybe I shouldn't compare books by the same author to each other. I should just rate them as they are, but I don't know. It's something I do. But yeah, Book of Cold Cases you know, the thing with Simone St. James, she doesn't just write a fantastic thriller, but she also has that kind of spooky vibe, that creepy vibe, ghosty kind of thing. You know, I love my paranormal and stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Really cool. Next one I read would definitely be in my top 10, if not my top 5 of the year. Castles in Their Bones by Laura Sebastian. This book was just, I loved it so much. It was a YA fantasy. It's the first in a series. If you like your fantasy books, these like sisters were all sent off to different lands to meet these men, and I can't even go into it. It's just so much to tell you. But if you like your fantasy and like royalty and like, I don't know, it's just fantastic. It's so good. So yeah, Castles in Their Bones. I cannot wait for number 2. I think it's out next year. Yeah, 5 stars for that. Loved it. Jigsaw Fire and Stars by Yaba Badu was good. I enjoyed that. That was, I think, a YA, but that was really good. It was interesting. That was a 4 star for me. The Club by Ellery Lloyd, I know a lot of people liked. I didn't. I found the characters to be very, it was a thriller, by the way, but I found the characters to be very, I don't know, kind of self-indulgent, arrogant, annoying. I didn't really care who died, who didn't. Like, I just didn't like them. So I stopped reading that. Next up, we have The Hideaway by Pam Smye. I can't remember much about that. I think that was, yeah, that was a book I got in the library, and it was like a little kind of graphic novel story kind of, I don't know. It wasn't that great. It was a bit like kind of trying to be scary, but it wasn't. I don't know. Meh. 2 stars. And I give it 2 stars because it did have nice artwork in it. Now, the next book I really loved, The Mad Woman's Ball by Victoria Mass. So this one was my kind of, I want to step out my comfort zone, which I try and do now. Once a month, I try and read a book that's completely not my genre or my type of story, you know. I like a different author that I've never read, something that's just out of my comfort zone, right? And this one was definitely out of that comfort zone, but I super loved it. It was so interesting, so emotional, really got me, actually. It gave me the feels, and it was just a beautiful book. And I just, yeah, please check it out. I don't want to say too much about it because you don't need to know too much about it. You just need to read it, because it was a beautiful book. It's only a short little book. It's not like a big, thick, you know, brick sized book. It's only small, but it was just absolutely amazing. And I loved it. 5 stars for The Mad Woman's Ball. The Boy Who Got Accidentally Famous, I listened to on audio. That was David Baddiel's book. I do like David Baddiel. I'm a huge fan. He's very, very funny. And this book was brilliant. I love the audio book version, because I could hear, like, the person who was reading it out was really kind of, you know, giving lots of character, like, voice to the characters and, like, bringing them to life. And there was different, like, sound effects and stuff. And it was just fantastic. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Death on the Nile, I read next by Agatha Christie. I didn't like that. I only give that 2 stars. I know it's one of her popular ones. I don't know, just didn't enjoy it. And also, I think I would have enjoyed it more as of the film version, because I found myself getting very mixed up. There just felt like there were so many characters. I was like, well, who's this and who's that? If it had been on film, I might have actually liked it more. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I didn't really enjoy that. What Mama Left Me by Renee Watson, I give a 2 stars too. That was okay, but it was so depressing. Like, literally, I felt like every few chapters someone died. And it was like, oh, it was just bringing me down. And stupidly, after that one, I give that 2 stars. After that one, I went on to Message Not Found by Dante Medema. And that was also very depressing, dealing with grief, dealing with death. And it was like, oh, yeah, them 2 books were not good for my emotions. So after that, I went to Idle Gossip, which did make me happier. By the way, we're in April now. Yeah, Idle Gossip, Alexandra Lee Young was fantastic. Go away, little fly. It was fantastic. I loved it so much. It was a K-pop drama. It was just, oh, it was so good. This girl, she gets like talent spotted and she joins this girl band, and oh, really, really good. Really fun read. I loved it. 5 stars for that. And I also love Not My Problem by Cyrus Smith. That was very good. What was that about? Oh, yeah, this girl, she's at school. She was a really nice character, actually. I liked her, the main character. And she had so much going on at home and stuff, but yet she tried to solve everyone else's problems. And so she would, like, do favours for people, like, to help them and stuff. And, yeah, it was good. It was nice. I like that one. 5 stars for that. The Ravens I really enjoyed by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. That was the first in the series. I give that a 5 stars, about a group of girls who were witches, you know, I love that. But then sadly, The Monarchs, which was number 2, I didn't really enjoy at all. I give it a 3, but being honest, it would have been more of a 2.5. I just think it lost its magic. I didn't literally, I didn't feel as kind of invested with it. It was kind of, it didn't need another book, to be fair. I think it would have just been like, if it would have stayed as The Ravens as a standalone, I think it would have been better. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. I loved so much. That was so good. I can't wait for number 2. I think it's about her sister, like the main character's sister, and her love life. And yeah, that looks really good as well. So I love Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Carrow Haunt by Darcy Coates. That was cool. That was like a spooky book. She was a tour guide at this old kind of creepy rundown mansion, and then this guy who's a psychic brings along a load of like paranormal people to do an investigation, and then things go wrong, and yeah, it was a bit weird at the end, but the actual read was quite enjoyable and spooky, and yeah, it was all right. I give that a 3 stars. Gallows Hill I listened to on audio. That was Lois Duncan. I really enjoyed that, actually. That was good. She was a witch, or no, she was connected to the witches who had, you know, been in the witch trials and stuff, and she had like a crystal ball and she could, anyway, it was good. I liked Gallows Hill. That was good. 4 stars for that. Now, next book was a classic that I hated, and that was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Why do people like it so much? Sorry, I'm just moving my foot because I'm starting to get pins and needles. Why do people like The Great Gatsby? Like, it was just, it's just about these like really arrogant, like just self-obsessed people, and they're boring kind of like, oh, I'm doing this and I've got that. I don't get why people like it. Sorry, there we go. But yeah, I only give it a 1 star. I had it on audiobook, and I just literally deleted it after like half an hour. I was like, this is terrible. So yeah, I didn't like that. The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. I really wanted to like, but I didn't. It was one of the books that got selected in my TBR games. Every month, by the way, if you're new here, maybe you're not, I don't know, but if you are, every month I do a reading wrap-up video. So I talk about the books that I've read each month, like go into detail, say my ratings for them. And I also include TBR games that I do with my lovely fiance. He joins in with me, including Spin the Wheel, TBR Roulette, that kind of thing. And that was one of the books that got chosen, and I really wanted to like it, but I just didn't. I just found it quite dull and meh. So that 1 star for that. Now, the next one, Colleen Hoover's Verity, my first ever Colleen Hoover book. I was sick of hearing everyone raving about Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover this, Colleen Hoover that, So I thought, you know what, I'm going to check out, you know, is the hype worth it? And I tell you what, I'm now obsessed with her books, just like everyone else is. Honestly, if you've not read a Colleen Hoover book, I really recommend you give it a go, give it a try. There's so many out there that she's done, and I vow to read all of them at some point. Verity was brilliant. It was a very dark, kind of creepy thriller and drama. And like literally, as I was reading it, I got the chills, because like the way the chapters would end, it was like a cliffhanger, and oh, just amazing. The characters were good, the twists, the everything. I loved it so much. So yeah, Verity by Colleen Hoover, 5 stars. Definitely going to be in my top 10. Definitely. And the next book I read, as I said before about going out of my comfort zone, it was by Diane Chamberlain, and it's called The Last House on the Street. Now, this one I'd found on the library website. I always sit there, you know, go on the library website, look up what's new, what's coming kind of thing. And I found this book, and I just thought it sounded kind of interesting. So I got it, and I really enjoyed it. The characters I really felt connected to. It was a very emotional read. It was hard hitting at times. It dealt with racism, which, you know, is always a really kind of, you know, emotional subject to read about and triggering. And, you know, some of the stuff was really hard to read, but the characters, you just feel for them, and you really, you know, kind of really root them for them to do well. And anyway, it was just an amazing read. There is obviously a kind of mystery thriller to it, but I think it's mainly a drama as well. Anyway, I loved it. I thought it was so good. 100% adored that book. The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlain. She's another author, actually, that I'd like to read more of in the future. Like a Charm, Ellie McNichol. Oh my God, I hated that. 1 star. Oh, it was terrible. Oh, I know it's middle grade. I know I'm not the target audience, but I do read some middle grades. You know, I like some, but that one, oh, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. Next up, I read Shari LaPenna's Someone We Know. I normally love Shari LaPenna books, so I was quite disappointed that I didn't enjoy this one, but I wasn't connecting with any of the characters, and also I found it so predictable. And the more I read on, I was like, this is obvious what's going to happen. And I remember skimming to the end going, see, told you so. So yeah, I didn't like that book at all. 2 stars for that. Next, I listened to an audio of Carmilla, A Vampire Tale by J. Sheridan Le Fanu. This is an old kind of classic cult, but I think this was the first or one of the first vampire books, even like before Dracula and stuff. I really liked this. Yeah, I listened to an audio book. The person who was reading it out was fantastic. She had such a great voice, and it was very kind of creepy and vampic and just, yeah, really good. I like that one. 3. Well, I've given it a 3 star, but really I should have given it a 4. I don't know why I've only given it a 3 on here, but anyway. But yeah, I like that one. By the way, audiobooks, I've really gotten into my audiobooks this year. I now have Audible. So, I get obviously a book a month plus any of the free ones from the Plus catalogue. And the one I'm listening to at the moment is brilliant. It's called The Smuggler's Daughter. So good. By the way, thank you to the lovely mini book chats because I got the idea for that book from her. Where was we? But yeah, no, I have Audible now. It's really good. So, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, Axio. Another really, really popular book. I just didn't enjoy it. I don't know why. Because it was beautiful, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. So I only give it a 1 star. I'm Mona Lisa by Natasha Solomons. Now I give this a 3 star. It was really weird. It was kind of, the painting, obviously Mona Lisa. It was kind of like the story was about her, but she had her own kind of thoughts and feelings, and she was in love with Leonardo, and it was just a bit weird. I couldn't get into it. I liked the idea of it because it was so different, but it was a bit too weird even for me, and I don't know my art history enough. So Blind Spot by Paula Hawkins, little quick read there. That was a little thriller. I didn't particularly like that one. I give it a 2 star because it was just so predictable. But look, it was a quick read. Cost me like £1, so and I still love Paula Hawkins books in general. Sarah Pinborough's Insomnia I read next. That was a really good thriller, very creepy, which Sarah Pinborough does best. She does her thrillers and she mixes that creepy element to it. I like that a lot. And from someone who has and sometimes still does suffer from insomnia, it was like, woo. The Hiding Place by Simon Lilique, I give 4 stars too. That was a good thriller. I enjoyed that one. Set at a private school. And there were murders that happened years ago and the murders that happen now, and they were kind of connected and like secret cults. And yeah, it was cool. I like that one. Happiness Is 500 Things to Be Happy About by Lisa Swirling. That was like a really cute little kind of, I don't know what you could call it, like a graphic novel maybe, I don't know. But it was just like a self-help top tips to be happy, but with really sweet little illustrations. So I give that a 5 star. Hotel Magnifique. Oh, I wanted to like this one, but I didn't. Emily J. Taylor. It was kind of billed as the Night Circus. Again, every time there's a book that's kind of magical, they go, if you like the Night Circus, you'll like this. I really wanted to like it, but I don't know. I just didn't. It's instead of being a circus, it was like a magic hotel. But I was getting very mixed up, very confused. I couldn't stand the main character. She was so like obsessive and just annoying, and I just DNF'd it. So yeah. Golden Boys by Phil Stamper, I didn't like either. That was a YA. I can't even remember what it was about. I think it was about 4 friends and they all kind of went off and did their own thing. And they were all very similar. I think that was the thing. If the characters would have been more individual, I'd have liked it. But it felt like the 4 friends all kind of rolled into one character. Like no one seemed particularly different. Beggar's Abbey, V.L. Valentine. That was a bit creepy. I remember liking it at the beginning and then getting quite bored with it. And it wasn't as creepy as I wanted it to be, kind of thing. So I give that 2 stars. I loved Gina Blackseal's You Can Trust Me. That was a fantastic YA thriller. Really, really good. It dealt with some very kind of hard-hitting taboo as such subjects, and it was hard to read at certain points because it was so triggering and upsetting, but it was very, very good. It's very well wrote and real kind of twisty turny. So yeah, really love that. You Can Trust Me got 5 stars. Then I think if I said we're in May, I don't think I have. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Melmoth, I didn't like. Sarah Perry, too weird for me, too depressing. Punk Love by LJ Shen, I started to listen to on audio and I just found myself getting very bored, so I didn't bother with that. 2 stars. Only a Monster by Vanessa Len, I only give 2 stars to, because the characters didn't really feel like monsters. They were supposed to be monsters, but like they could time travel, they could do this and that, but they just looked and felt like normal people, and I thought they'd be more monstrous. So yeah, I didn't like that. Won't be continuing on with that series. Louise O'Neill Idol, wow, that was brilliant. Yeah, 5 stars. Really, really enjoyed that. That was so good. Yeah, I love that. I really want to read more books by her. She's very good. Little Thieves, Margaret Owen, I didn't like at all. 2 stars for that. Got really bored with that. Won't continue with that series. There Once Is a Queen by Michael Morfugo, I think that's how you say his name. Really enjoyed that. It's just a cute little book about the Queen, as in our Queen, Queen Elizabeth's life. Obviously, it's the Jubilee year this year, so it was just nice to read kind of something royal, and the illustrations were beautiful. So yeah, I love that. 5 stars. Next book I had was Simon James Green's Gay Club, which was, I don't know, I wanted to like it, but I just found it really irritating, and just, it was trying too hard to be funny. Like, I like funny books, but this one just felt like it was way too much, like trying to be funny every other sentence. And it was like, just a bit annoying characters as well. So I only give that 1 star. Confess by Colleen Hoover, I loved. I give that 5 stars. That was amazing. That pulled at my heartstrings so much. I love that. It didn't have as much dark thriller vibes as Verity, but like I still really loved it. Do you know what I mean? So obviously Colleen Hoover does, some of them are more kind of dark thrillers and some of them are more like romance with a bit of, you know, drama. So yeah, I really loved Confess. That was really, really good. Okay, Afterlife by Tanya Byrne, I give 2 stars to. I really wanted to, sorry, my focus thing's going. There we go. I really wanted to like this one because it was supposed to be like a paranormal romance, and the first part of the book I really enjoyed, and then it just went a bit weird. Like, it felt like it was two books in one, if that makes sense. It was weird. Like, 1 minute she was in love and it was all nice, and the next minute she was like a reaper looking for people's souls, and I was like, whoa. So yeah, very odd. I love The Noah Family. That was good, by Grace K. Shim. Give that a 4 star. Really like that. That was very good, about this girl who, what was it? I was trying to think. Yeah, she found out from her DNA that she had relatives that she didn't know she had, and then she like went over to meet them, and there was like some weird family secrets and stuff. That was good. I like that. It was nice. Little Sister by Gaitha Lodge, I didn't particularly like. That was a thriller, part of a series as well, which I think with thrillers, you don't have to read them as a series, but I think if you do, I suppose you get more used to the, you know, the detectives and what they've, you know, been through with other cases. So I don't know. I didn't like that one. Love Radio by Ebony Liddell was okay. A bit predictable, but sweet enough, I suppose. The characters were nice enough, but it was nothing special. 3 stars for that. I loved Kirsten White's Hide. That one I give a 4 stars to. That was quite creepy, about this old like abandoned theme park, and there was this game that was held in it, and it was creepy and scary, and just, yeah, it was good. Ike Shara Wheeler, I really enjoyed that, by Casey McQuiston. It's probably my favourite book by her. I have read their others, but I would say this one is my favourite from her. I like that kind of element of mystery. Where did she go? Why did she kiss the people? What was the secrets? Like, it was good. I enjoyed it. I like that. So I give that a 4 stars. Now, the next one was by Hannah Burvotes. We Had to Remove This Post. This is one of those that I went out of my comfort zone with, but didn't enjoy at all. It was way too disturbing. It's about this girl who joined this like social media platform, and they're the people who kind of moderate the bad stuff that kind of goes on and try and, you know, get rid of all the nasty, hurtful, hateful comments and stuff. But some of the things that were described and the things that were said, it was like, oh, it was just a bit quite disturbing. I didn't like it at all. So 1 star for that. The next book I read was R.M. Romero's The Ghost of Rose Hill, which I loved. It was a very beautiful, beautiful book. I give that 4 stars. Book of Night, Holly Black, I didn't like. I was really gutted about that because I had the special edition. I'd pre-ordered it. I like Holly Black, but I did not enjoy this one at all. I don't even remember much about it because I just didn't enjoy it. So yeah, only 2 stars for that. No, 1 star. Oh, 1 star. I did love You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thayer. I would give that a 4 star. Very sad, beautiful. The only reason it didn't get a 5 is because it's a kind of very predictable ending for me. I would have liked something a little bit different. But anyway, but I did really enjoy it. About this girl whose boyfriend dies and they kind of communicate, you know, from the other side via text message, and it was a little bit silly, but it was okay. It was good. I liked it. Last Summer at the Golden Hotel by Alicia Friedland. I liked at the beginning, and then I didn't like, so I stopped reading it. This book is kind of supposed to be like a retelling, reimagining of Dirty Dancing, which is my favourite film of all time. But I don't know, this is a really odd thing to say, right? Because the author is Jewish. The story had like a big kind of Jewish rep in it. You know, the holiday place where they were at was like a Jewish place, and I just felt like it was really kind of stereotype, tropes, kind of. I felt quite offended by a lot of the things in it. Oh, I'm Jewish, by the way, you probably know anyway, but if you don't, you do now. And I just felt it was like, I don't know, for example, you know, one of the sons was a lawyer, and the names that they use, like, I can't describe it. And there were some things about the Holocaust in it, which I thought was said in quite poor taste. And I just felt very uncomfortable reading it, so I stopped. But really odd because, as I say, Jewish author, Jewish characters. I shouldn't have been offended. I should have loved it, but I didn't. The Curfew by Tm Logan I enjoyed. That was good. That was a 4-star read for me. Thriller. Tm Logan's really good, actually. If you like your thrillers, I recommend him. We Are Inevitable by Gail Forman I adored. 5 stars for that. Absolutely love that book. This boy, he was so cute. He works in his dad's bookshop, which is like an old secondhand bookshop. And yeah, it's kind of not doing very well with business. Then he meets this girl, and she's like in a band. And anyway, there's more to it. There's a lot more to it. So I love that book. It was very, very good. I give that a 5 star. Then I read The In Between by Mark Klein. That is also a film on Netflix, which I do want to see at some point in the next week or so. Beautiful book. Very similar to You've Reached Sam in the fact that the girlfriend, the guy dies and it communicates with the girlfriend via, you know, text messages, and yeah, it's kind of paranormal love kind of thing. But it's really nice. It's really good. Very similar in some ways, but not in others. But yeah, I'll give that a 4 star, and I want to see the film. Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas was one of my most sought after books. I found it on Audible and I listened to it, and I just got really bored with it. And I didn't like the main character, the guy. He was just such a rude, like, very disrespectful character, and the words that he used was very nasty and disrespectful, and I just stopped listening to it. I love Sisters in Arms. That was amazing, by Kaya Alderson. Oh, so now we're in June, which is obviously now. I love that book. It's about 2 girls who had joined the army. They were people of colour, and they like had so much to deal with. Not only did they have to start the army and go through, like, you know, all the different, you know, ways of life, and training and stuff, but they also had to deal with racism. Some of the stuff they went through was horrible, and it is based on a true story, so it was really like emotional as you read it. Both of the main characters I adored for different reasons, and I thought it was overall an amazing, thought-provoking, beautiful book. Absolutely loved it, and I give that a 5 star. And I've got 2 more left. Hope you're still awake. Those Who Pray by Jennifer Moffat. I give that a 4 star. That was cool. I love books about cults. I don't know why, but I do. But yeah, it was about a girl who was quite lonely. She's at college, and she kind of didn't have anyone to kind of, you know, be friends with and stuff. And then she gets introduced to this group and kind of sucked in. And yeah, before she knows it, she's part of this like really, you know, religious cult. And they take her to Italy. And yeah, I won't give any more spoilers, but it's a very good book. If you like your books about cults, I really recommend it. It was good. I give it a 4 star. The only reason I didn't give it a 5 is because some of the choices that she made were just stupid. Like, she got away from the cult at one point, and then knowing how bad they were, she just went back, and I was like, why would you do that? Anyway, but yeah, 4 stars. I did really enjoy it, believe it or not. And the last one is where is it? Sorry, I have lost it. Oh, come back to me. 1 second, sorry about this. This is what's happening. Here we go. You Mean Our Heartstrings by Melissa C. So yeah, this is a YA romance, and it's got disabled rep. I really wanted to like this book. It sounded super sweet, but I just found it way too predictable, and there was just something I just couldn't enjoy it. I wasn't interested. I don't know, and it was just so predictable. Everything that happened was so predictable. But yeah, I only give that a 2-star. So there we go. Whew. They are the books I've read so far this year. There's been a hell of a lot of books. Hell of a lot of books there. Some really good books and some not so good. Overall, I think I've enjoyed most of the books that I've read this year. I don't think there's been loads of like, oh my god, that was terrible. There's been some average ones, but yeah, I'm not going to go through them all again, but obviously if you've watched this video, you'll know the 5-star ones. They're the ones that I've really thoroughly enjoyed that, you know, as I say, will probably, you know, appear in my top 10 video of the year, which I normally film in like December time. But yeah, there we go. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Really quickly, I'll show you my current book, which is Gideon Green in black and white by the one and only Katie Henry. I absolutely loved Heretics Anonymous. That's how I first heard about her. This is her new book. It's really, really good. It's really funny, but it's I can't even go into it all now, but it's just so good. The main character, Gideon, is adorable. I literally want to be his best friend because he is adorable. And he wears a trench coat in the summer, and yeah, he loves watching like noir films, and he's a bit kind of out there. There he is on the cover. It's probably not him. That is obviously a model, or it might even be a drawing. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, really, really enjoying this book. So I'm loving that. And also in the post yesterday, I had this one turn up, Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey, which is a book that I've wanted for literally like 2 years or whatever. Like seriously, couldn't get hold of it. Finally got it on eBay. So yeah, I think it's probably going to be my next read because I just want to read it. I've waited long enough. So yeah, that is that. Whew. Okay, let me know in the comments what you're currently reading. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I've, you know, spoke about in this video. If you disagree with me or if you agree with me. Have I give you some ideas for books that you'd like to read? Anything. I love your comments, so please leave me a comment. Please subscribe to the channel. Leave a big old thumbs up. As I say, at the end of the month, which is soon actually, there'll be my reading wrap up. Also it will feature my new TBR games, which I love doing. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Come and follow me, by the way, on Goodreads, and my social media links are down below. And check out Minxlaura123 ASMR. And hey, I have a throne wish list, so if you would like to spoil me and treat me, I've got some books on there and stuff, so you know, maybe you want to. The list is the link's down below to the link. What? The link is down below to the list. I don't know, it's all this book talk. It's making me tired and mix up my words. Take care of yourselves. Happy reading. I'll see you soon. Bye.